It's a curious irony, I think, that the first month of Corbyn and Sultana's new venue has been dominated not by policy but by an argument from the past, and yet, rather than stopping their movement, it seems only to have drawn more eyes to it. Jeremy Corbyn, ever the conciliator, has dismissed Zara Sultana's criticism of his handling of the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism as not really necessary. He is keen to move beyond the endless trench warfare of Labour's internecine wars and rows, and Sultana, however, shows no such hesitation. By calling Labour's 2018 acceptance of the IHRA definition a capitulation and branding Israel a genocidal apartheid state, she has made it clear that she intends to plant a flag for the uncompromising left. Corbyn offers Jerusalem declarations, Sultana offers slogans. This difference in tone is already setting up a fascinating internal dynamic. One might think such public contradiction would sink a fledgling party, yet the opposite appears true. Over 800,000 have now signed up to your party's mailing list. Ipsos finds 1 in 5 voters open to backing it, with that rising to a third among Labour supporters. Professor John Curtis predicts gains in Scotland at the expense of the Greens. In Preston and Cambridge, disaffected councillors have already defected, and the row over anti-Semitism hasn't deterred this wave. In fact, it demonstrates precisely what their supporters prize: independence of voice, ideological clarity, and a refusal to be policed by the Starmerite discipline. And movements like this thrive on conflict. The spat between Corbyn and Sultana provides precisely the theatre of principle that persuades activists that they are not joining a husk of compromise but a live wire of dissent. Even sceptics acknowledge the hunger. Years of triangulation have left a large block of voters wanting boldness, not management. For Sultana to proclaim, "Print that I am an anti-Zionist," is not a gaffe, but a rallying cry. For Corbyn, the elder statesman, the rebuke shows moderation without disowning. Each serves a constituency, and between them they cover the spectrum of the radical left. Of course, this cannot last forever. The hard left is famous for schism. Monty Python's People's Front of Judea still haunts every attempt at unity. Will your party be disciplined enough to contest elections, or will it collapse into competing factions of Palestine activists, municipal socialists, eco-radicals and Trotskyist splinter groups? Will its radical foreign policy make it a magnet for media outrage? Will Corbyn and Sultana manage to share leadership without undermining each other? These questions remain unanswered. Despite that rebuke, or because of it, your party has begun to look less like a curiosity and more like a genuine threat to Labour on its left flank. Owen Jones certainly sees it as a monster vehicle that is going to drive into the Labour Party itself and will almost certainly end up determining the next election, even if it never takes more than a handful of seats. It could bleed votes that the Greens or the Lib Dems will gratefully scoop up. And Corbyn once discovered how fragile Labour's coalition was. Starmer may soon discover how easily it can be fractured again.